people are very easy to run away when things start looking gloomy and not looking good. So, when did people get into crypto? Like when everyone started talking about crypto, everyone got into crypto. You're sitting around fucking your table having dinner and the waiter's talking about crypto. Everyone's like, oh, what's Bitcoin? I didn't even know what it was, but everyone's talking about it, so I'm going to get in. They're getting in when it's really expensive. They're getting in like the house prices or the land prices last year and the year before. Then it shits itself and goes down, because that's what it does, and everyone jumps out. So they've got in when it's really high and they've got out when it's really low, yeah? But when should you get into crypto? You should get in when no one's talking about it, when stuff's really low, when you're getting the best buying price. And that's where we're going with land in the next few years. And then what Lloyd's saying there is, if you get a deal now, you've got to build it. It's going to take 2 years to exit it. Well, that's when it's going to have recovered and gone back up. So that's like getting in crypto when it's low, buying now, and then getting in there. Because people jump out when they shit themselves, but what they also do is they're really scared to get back in again. So actually, where competition was really high the last couple of years, prices were really high, what's going to happen now? Prices go down, but also competition goes down, because all those who just jumped in, all the lemmings, they've all run off now, and they've got to wait till the waiter's talking about it around the table again before they get back in again. So actually, for the next 18 months, 2 years, it's the opposite, I'd say. You've got the best buying time, and then you've got the market to recover at the back end. So I think it's exciting, and listen to that podcast, because it'll mean a lot to you.
Property developer secrets. Yeah, everything we do is property developer secrets. It's Scott Marshall from Roma.
Yeah.
Don't tell anyone, it's a secret.
It's a secret, yeah.
Yeah, it's on YouTube as well. You can watch it, the actual interview on YouTube as well.
By the way, there's no secrets in developments. It's what we called it.
Yeah. No, thanks for that, guys. It was just more a case of, obviously, if I'm going to come into it early on, it's like, you want to get it at the right timing as well. But I didn't realise there's like 25-30% margin in it, which gives you that leeway if it does go a bit wrong, because at least you've got a cover,
The other benefit, actually, just on this subject is when people aren't buying, what are they doing? Renting. Okay, so if you're looking at build to rent, then the rents are going to go up, which is actually going to push your price and your value up as well. So if there's more demand to rent, you just keep it and rent it out.
Thank you.
But I think
well done, guys. Good question, good answer. And then you guys have been close, so I'd get out of the room, yeah? Excellent. Next question. Let's go this way. Oh, go on, Gary. You're up next.
Hi, guys.
We keep these questions and answers to about a couple of minutes. That's great.
So if you're building a site of 5 or 6 houses, what does it cost to build a bog standard 3-bed house?
$1 million question.
Just another one quickly. If you're looking for land, is the ideal plot where you can, on the edge of a road where you can build them in a row where you've not got the cost of cul-de-sacs and stuff like that? Do you think
where we build it, you've got to find a deal, you analyse deals. We find 100 deals to make one that work. If you go in with too much criteria like that, you just won't find a deal. So you have to analyse what you see and look at that. On the build cost side of it, at the end of the day, it's going to cost a lot different building in the middle of London than it is, in Newcastle or whatever. So, yeah, there's no rule of thumb, though. What we do on the training that Joe's talked about there is we teach you how you can work it out for what you're building, to the quality you're building in the area you're building, so so we're building at the minute with our scenario, with what we build, the new builds, about 170 to 180 pounds a square foot. So we don't do it like the house total. We do it on how much of house and whatever. But that'd be completely different in a different area for someone else in a different setup, or if you're doing a refurb. But what we do is we teach you how to work that out. It takes, we have to show you a lot of stuff. It takes half a day to get to that point. But, we want you to go away being able to do those calculations yourself.
Yeah, the other variable as well is you could have a... I've only got 2 minutes, mate. I've just used it. I'll be quick. I'll be very quick.
Next!
If you've got a 50 square metre house, then, well, it's a small house, but if you've got a 50 square metre house and it's a 2.3 metre high ceiling, or you could have the same house next door which has got a 3.2 metre high ceiling, it's going to be a completely different cost as well. So it all depends. It's very site specific. Yeah, but to give you an idea, we're doing 108 pounds a square foot.
But we teach you how to work it out yourself is the point,
yeah. So we're currently building at 180 pounds a square foot, but that's to our spec and what we're doing.
And on average, what does that add up together to make a 1 3-bed house? Just to give him his answer.
I'll tell you that on the third day of course.
Well, those there are... What's the...
Excellent.
Yeah, we haven't got time.
Right. No, he wasn't.
Was he?
But it's not relevant because I'll give you an answer.
It could be.
You'll use it on the wrong thing.
It's all
it won't work, will it? No.
Just roughly.
They're 86 square metre houses.
£108 square foot. There you go.
Get your calculator out.
Let's go. What's next?
Who's on this side got a question? Julian.
When you go to people and asking for the investment money, how do you make it appealing to them but work for you? How much would you offer?
I literally have just had a message. I was going to say when we were talking about this question here, but I've had one of our students say, quick question, what would you expect to pay an investor given that the base rate is 4%? Asked them, what do you want from the deal? Yeah.
Simple.
So she's trying to tell the investor what they're going to give, but I would always go back and say, look, this is the deal. We can give some interest back. It's going to be more than what you're going to get in the bank, but what would you like and what would you expect? And what would make you invest in the deal? Sometimes if you're looking for 200 grand and someone's only giving you 10 grand towards a deal, well, you can't give them 50% of the profit or anything like that, or you can't give them 20% return. So it's just got to be, on their terms. Yeah, and we always put it to the investor and say, look, this is the deal. What would you like to start with? And then always go higher, and we'll then start bringing it down and sort of ratchet down a little bit.
For me, it's a slightly different twist on that. I want to know what they want to achieve by it. Like it's not what you want as in percentage. It's like, well, why are you giving us this money? Is it because you want to put your kids to private school? Is it because you want an extra holiday? Is it because inflation's eroding it in the bank? I want to understand what their driver is while we're having this conversation. And then we've got tools in our armory, and the relationship's going to be different. So like if a lot of investors will say, well, I want 50% of the profit. You're going to go and make 400 grand. I want 50% of the profit. Well, my answer to that would be, look, those kind of joint ventures are based on relationships. We haven't got a relationship like that. I mean, you don't know who I am. You don't know how I work. You've not been on a deal with us. So why don't we do lesser amount? Let's do a tester of 50 grand, and we'll do it on a loan agreement. So I'll give you 10% return, and I'll give you some security on that, second charge, personal guarantee or whatever, and we'll see how we work together. Because, like, you can see how the development goes. I'll see how you are as an investor. And then if that all goes well on that one, then there's nothing to stop us rolling in and doing something a bit more exciting on the next one. But actually the loan agreement protects you, because if the development doesn't go well, then the profit's low, you're still going to get your 10% I promised you. So whereas I'll take the hit on the profit up and down. And then the next one, we can see how we work together.
We've done it before where it's not return on investment, it's return on education. So we have an earn and learn scheme. So people give us money for our deals. We give them like a 5 or 6% return, so they get money for it. But actually, they come on our training, they get taught how to do it, and then they use the money they've invested with us to do their own development. So their money's working for them while they're learning, and then they go and do it. So that's worked well.
Because that's what meant something to them. That someone else that wouldn't float their boat, would it? So yeah. So let's find out what they're trying to achieve.
Cool.
Cheers.
Good question, good answer. Fantastic. Excellent. Have we got any more questions from anybody before we let these two gentlemen go? Sam?
I'll go on. Can anyone give us a lift to King's Cross?
Yeah. God knows where everybody's cars are, but it was an absolute nightmare driving in it today. I don't even know where my car's gone.
Yeah. Go.
I was leaving it somewhere. It's probably been towed.
So I suppose like the rest of us, we're all looking for like just a little bit of a nugget. I know your area of field is like land development, but like just for looking for property development in the south, which I've been doing, I find the most motivated sellers are guest house owners, the ones who got like the rundown B&Bs.
Yeah.
But like it doesn't look like a lot you can do except for knocking them down and rebuilding them. I mean, for myself, we do like service accommodation, so it's like an ideal model for us.
Yep.
But I was just wondering if you got any little nuggets for that type of motivated seller that are just...
So if it's guest houses, it'll be under a use class called C1. So the hotels, guest houses, that kind of thing, which if you're doing service accommodation, that's the same thing.
Yeah.
So there's no planning involved. You just literally strip it out, refurb it, put new people in. The other thing you can do is, on that basis, you could then rent it or sell it to a housing association or supported living. That's a big thing at the moment. And they'll take it straight on. They'll give you guaranteed rent for 5 years, 10 years, depending on the housing association demand.
Would that still fall in the category? Would I be still right with C1 with that then?
Yeah, you can get away with C1 service accommodation because it is holiday lets. There's a certain criteria. If you get people staying for a longer period, then it has to switch. But you can always start it and run a planning application alongside your fallback position. So called a fallback position is what can you do with it now? And then you run an application in simultaneously. So I want to convert it into a C3, which is residential accommodation, like flats and things. So if that goes through, then you convert it straight away into the flats. So you kind of run two scenarios at once.
Could you do like well, I don't know, what could I do? Would there permit development? Because we found one,
Yeah.
and it's got 3 floors to it, and you could potentially have like 3 flats in it. But would you do it as 3 flats under the C1 model of service accommodation, and then go in for like is that retrospective planning? Yeah. Is that
No, you kind of got to do the planning first. You've got to get planning first and then do it. You can kind of do it and not tell anyone and get away with it, and then it falls under lawful development, which is like a few years later, then they'll do it. But that's a risky thing to do.
Yeah.
We don't teach that strategy. Yeah, you can do it that way if you. But guest houses, yeah, so they are coming on the market. It's probably not a good business to be in at the moment. But then I also think it is, because not a lot of people are going abroad these days. So it's kind of, yeah, service accommodation is massive.
Yeah, we've got some good people doing some good things with service accommodation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's so easy to approach, you know. You just literally knock on the doors, a bit run down. They normally all want to sell them because they're a bit older and a bit.
Yeah.
They're all a bit like deflated with the whole business at the moment. And like the lady we just spoke to last week, she's well motivated.
Yeah.
Don't know where else to go at the moment, but
The other thing you could do is buy the business, not the property. Then you're not paying stamp duty on the property,
yeah,
and you might buy it less than actually the value of the property, if it's a struggling business as well.
yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
I think though that the key with developments as a whole, just to finish off, is that look at what happened with COVID. You know, we went into an international pandemic in this country. Everyone was locked down, and the only people who were allowed to work were people who were still developing sites, because that shows you what the demand is. So you know that's great. That's one way of finding properties. But the fact is, there's an insatiable demand for property. We cannot fill the need for it. So it's great to get into developments, because no matter what's happening with the market, what's happening with the other economy, we need developments. And if they're not selling, i.e. the price go down, then they're going to rent because people can't afford to buy, so whatever. So prices are high, it works. Prices are low, it works. We have to just adapt the strategy.